Swimsuits, tank tops, pool parties, vacations. Is there any season that puts more pressure on how we look and feel than summer? But what if this summer could be different? Not just another season of hiding under cover ups and making empty promises to yourself, but the actual turning point in your health journey. What if instead of summer being about restriction and guilt, it became the season you finally learned how to truly take care of yourself and make over your metabolism in the process? The summer where you not only enjoy everything the season has to offer, but also focus on your health in a way that feels sustainable and life changing. It's possible. And I'm not just saying that, I'm going to give you the exact roadmap to make it happen. Because this isn't about a beach body or fitting into last year's shorts. This is about making this the summer of you. Welcome to the Feel Better, Live Free podcast brought to you by Thinlicious. I'm your host, Ruth Soukup, and here we'll talk about everything from the science of weight loss to practical tips for making your health a priority in the midst of a busy life. It's a little bit nerdy, a little bit funny, and a little bit revolutionary. So buckle up, friend, because it's about to get real. Hey there, and welcome back to the Feel Better, Live Free podcast. Once again, my name is Ruth Soukup, and I am the founder of Thinlicious and the creator of the Thin Adapted System, as well as the New York Times bestselling author of 7 books. And because summer is finally here, and it's my favorite season of all, I want this to be the summer that everything changes for you. But just real quick, before we dive into the meat of this episode, I want to make sure that you know about our free starter guide that can help you begin this journey. It's called Flip the Switch, and it will explain in detail why it feels like your metabolism has stopped working and what you can do to get it started again. You can download it at thinlicious.com/guide. So if you're ready to make this the summer of you, be sure to grab that guide as a first step. I'll also make sure to throw the link in the show notes so that you can grab it there. Now let's get into what it really means to make this the summer of you and exactly how you can make that happen. Because with those of us with kids still at home or coming home from college, summer usually means a little bit of relief from the crazy grind of the busy school year, but also a change in routine that can sometimes feel just as chaotic as that last intolerable month of school. But even if you don't have kids at home, there's something about summer that just changes the vibe, whether it's the longer days or the warmer weather or the vacations planned. It's a time to kick back and relax, to spend more time with friends and family, and to just enjoy life a little bit more. For many of us, the thought of just enjoying life is usually synonymous with not worrying about what I eat or drink and throwing caution to the wind. But what if this year it wasn't? What if I told you that this could be the summer that you not only enjoy your life and the best that summer has to offer, but that you also focused on your health and on looking and feeling your absolute best so that your future summers look even better? I promise it's not impossible. And that's why today I don't just want to convince you to make this the summer of you. I'm going to give you the ultimate roadmap to actually make it happen. I think the reason I'm so passionate about this topic is because my own health journey began in the summer, specifically the summer of 2021. And I'll be honest, I was at my absolute lowest point. I had hit 201 pounds on the scale. It was the most I had ever weighed, even more than at 9 months pregnant with either of my daughters. I was exhausted all the time. I had headaches constantly. My joints hurt. I struggled with heartburn and indigestion. I was bloated and puffy and just generally feeling like garbage. And on top of that, I was embarrassed of my body. I avoided photos like the plague. I wouldn't wear a swimsuit. And if you know me, you know how much I love the water and the beach. I dimmed the lights during intimate moments with my husband because I was ashamed for him to see me naked. My confidence was at rock bottom, and it wasn't for lack of trying either. I had tried everything. I counted Weight Watchers points obsessively. I made those crazy green smoothies packed with all the healthy ingredients that I now know were just loading me up with sugar. I ordered special meals from delivery services. I even hired a personal trainer and worked out 3 days a week. When none of that worked, I got really desperate and went to a consult for liposuction. I ended up not doing it, but I did pay thousands of dollars for cool sculpting, which did literally nothing. And I'll tell you what, if Ozempic had been around a few years ago, I know I would have jumped on that bandwagon too. I was so desperate for a solution, for something that actually worked. Maybe you're in that place right now. Maybe you're even considering Ozempic or already taking it. And I get it. I really do. When nothing seems to work, you'll try anything. But my turning point ended up coming from something so dumb, a photo that someone else had taken and shared on Facebook. The day that photo was taken, I remember it so vividly. I was wearing a new dress that I thought looked really cute and flattering. And yes, it was a size extra large. And yes, I was wearing full body Spanx underneath in 95-degree heat, but I actually thought I looked pretty good. Then I saw the photo. And it was like seeing myself through someone else's eyes for the first time. Was that really what I looked like? What my stomach looked like, even with the super Spanx trying to suck me in? It was just this moment where I knew something had to give, that I had to do something different because everything I had tried hadn't worked. And that's when I stopped dieting and started learning. I realized that basically everything we've ever been told about health and weight loss is a big fat lie, especially the part about counting calories and eating less and exercising more. I learned that real sustainable weight loss has nothing to do with calories and everything to do with hormones. And so I committed to changing my lifestyle and to doing something different that I had never tried before. I made that summer, the summer of 2021, the summer of me. By Labor Day, I had lost 25 pounds and I felt better than I had in years. That October, I ran a half marathon, the longest distance I had ever run in my entire life. And by Christmas, I had reached my weight loss goal of 40 pounds. Since then, I've actually lost an additional 9 pounds, bringing my total weight loss to 49 pounds. And I've kept it off for years without struggle, without hunger, and without making myself miserable. Making that summer all about me absolutely changed the trajectory of my whole life. And that's why now I'm not just encouraging you, but imploring you to do the same. Because let's get real. This midlife phase of life can be a little disconcerting, can it? And it's not even really about the excess weight, although that definitely plays a part. But it's just this weird time where not only your body is changing and getting older and your hormones are going crazy, and you're starting to notice more wrinkles and gray hair and stretch marks and varicose veins, not to mention the heartburn and indigestion and the aches and pains and the overall exhaustion. But there are also so many emotions tied up in this phase of life. Your kids are getting older and they don't really need you as much. The dynamic of your marriage changes, your friendships change. All of a sudden, all your friends' kids are getting married and having babies. Work changes as the people you looked up to or related to start retiring and get replaced with these young Gen Z whippersnappers who literally look like babies and basically expect to win an award and get a raise just for showing up 3 days in a row. It's like all of a sudden, we have to come to grips with the fact that we're not really young anymore. And that's not the easiest realization to make. But what I've learned through my own health journey is that this midlife phase can actually be really amazing. I feel better at 47 than I did at 37 and probably even 27. I have more energy, more confidence, and I actually enjoy my life more fully than I did 10 years ago. But it took healing my body to get there. So, what will it actually look like to begin transforming your health this summer? How can you lose those first 20 pounds by Labor Day? What exact steps do you need to take? I'm about to lay out the ultimate roadmap for you. And I'm going to look at this mostly from the perspective of someone who is just getting started for the very first time or is looking to get back on track with a health and weight loss plan. But if you've already started your health transformation journey and you're just looking to get remotivated or back on track for the summer, then this will still be super helpful. And I'll also talk about some additional pieces you might want to add if you're looking to level up. The first thing that is an absolute must is to cut out all sugar and as much processed food as possible, but especially processed and refined carbohydrates. Because the reality is that your body can't tell the difference between sugar and carbohydrates, especially refined carbohydrates. To your body, it is literally the exact same thing. And that's a big deal because sugar is the number one thing that is wreaking havoc on your hormones. If you are struggling with your weight and your health at all, or if it feels like your metabolism isn't working, it's almost certain that you have at least some form of insulin resistance. Studies have shown that nearly 88% of Americans have some form of insulin resistance, even if they don't know it. and it's especially common in women over 40. That means it's almost a sure thing that you have it, especially if you're struggling with your weight. But what does that actually mean? Well, insulin is a hormone responsible for regulating blood sugar. When you eat carbs or sugar, your body breaks them down into glucose, which raises your blood sugar. Your pancreas then releases insulin to move that glucose into your cells for energy. But when you consistently flood your system with sugar and refined carbs, your cells stop responding to insulin properly. They become resistant to its signals, so your body pumps out more and more insulin to get the job done. And here's the kicker: insulin is a fat storage hormone. When your insulin levels are high, your body is in fat storage mode, not fat burning mode. So, no matter how little you eat or how much you exercise, if your insulin levels are chronically high, your body physically cannot burn fat. The only way to actually reverse your insulin resistance and get your hormones balanced again in order to reset your metabolism is to totally cut out sugar and refined carbohydrates. You basically need a sugar detox. And again, it's not just sugar as in sweets and candy and ice cream, but also things like bread and pasta and potato chips, because your body thinks all carbohydrates are sugar. And when I say this is a detox, it really is. You'll probably experience some withdrawal symptoms. Your body is basically addicted to sugar right now, and it's going to fight you for a few days or maybe even a week or two. We'll talk about how to fight back in a minute, but for now, just know that this is basically the worst part. And I'll say this too: you don't have to cut out all carbohydrates forever, so don't think that way. Once you've actually healed your body and reached your weight loss goals and reversed your insulin resistance, your metabolism will be working the way that it should again. You'll be what's called metabolically flexible, which means your body will be able to handle some carbohydrates again. This is not a death sentence. It's a life-giving sentence, okay? This is the cure right now, so you got to do it. So what does this look like in practice? It means saying goodbye to bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, and other starchy foods. It means cutting out sugary treats, desserts, and sodas. It means getting rid of those processed snacks like chips, crackers, and pretzels. It means ditching fruit juices and sweetened beverages. And it definitely means eliminating those so-called healthy foods that are secretly loaded with sugar, like granola bars, flavored yogurt, and store-bought smoothies. So what do you replace it with? Well, that's coming right up, because step 2 is to start eating a lot more healthy fat. Like a lot more. In your first 8 weeks, so basically until Labor Day, you want to be getting about 70 to 80% of your total calories from fat, and not just any fat. Healthy fat, olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, avocado, full fat dairy, animal fats. This is probably going to feel weird at first, especially if you've always avoided fat, but it's really important. And again, this super high level of fat isn't forever, but it's a crucial part of healing your body and rebalancing your hormones and restarting your metabolism. Basically, your goal is to train your body to burn fat for fuel instead of sugar, because sugar is like the cheap fuel. It's the energy source your body will automatically go to as long as it's available. But as soon as that sugar is not available, your body will start using fat for energy. And so in the beginning, your body and your hormones need to know that there is plenty of fat available for fuel so that they calm down and come out of crisis mode and actually start burning fat. And obviously, eventually, your goal is to have your body burn the excess fat on your body, which is why eventually you'll want to lower your fat consumption a bit. But at first, you just need to get a ton of fat. That said, if you're not just starting out and you've already been eating this way for a while, but you feel like you've maybe plateaued, then that is a sign that it's time to actually lower the amount of fat you're eating and start getting more protein. This is what happens in phase 2 of our TAS program, and it's a big deal. So what does this look like in practice? It means adding a tablespoon of butter or MCT oil to your coffee in the morning. It means cooking with plenty of olive oil, coconut oil, or avocado oil. It means eating fatty cuts of meat instead of lean ones. It means including full-fat dairy like cheese, heavy cream, and butter in your meals. It means adding avocado to your plate whenever you can. It means drizzling olive oil over your vegetables without guilt. And it means using full-fat salad dressings, preferably homemade ones, instead of those light versions that are loaded with sugar. But getting more fat is only part of it. That's why your third step is to eat more protein at every single meal. And this is a big deal too, because protein is not just important for healing tissue, building muscle, and keeping your body systems working, but it also provides sustainable energy and helps make you feel full. And not only that, because protein has a higher thermic effect, it forces your body to expend more energy to digest it, which is important from a weight loss perspective. So your goal is to eat at least 35 grams per meal, which is equivalent to 4 eggs, a chicken breast, a hamburger patty, a steak, or some kind of fish fillet. Suffice to say, you'll probably want to make sure you are eating meat at every single meal because that's the easiest and best way to get more nutrient-dense protein. What I don't want you to do is rely on protein powders or protein shakes to meet your protein goals. If you want to add a little collagen powder to your coffee in the morning, along with some butter or MCT oil to help get your fat content up, then okay, but aside from that, most of your protein should be coming from real food. And again, once you've actually reset your hormones and your metabolism and reached your weight loss goals and healed your metabolism, this can be adjusted. But in the beginning, it's really, really important to focus on getting enough protein at every meal. And if you're not at the beginning stages, but you're wanting to level up, then I would focus on getting even more protein and possibly even adding in some more mega protein days, which in our TAS program we call PFDs, which stands for protein fast days. Those can have a huge impact and help break through plateaus like nothing else. So, what does this look like in practice? It means eating eggs for breakfast and not just one or two. I'm talking at least 3 or 4 eggs to really get that protein in. It means having a large portion of meat at lunch and dinner, about the size of your palm or even bigger. It means choosing protein rich snacks like hard boiled eggs, meat sticks, or cheese when you get hungry between meals. It means making sure protein is the centerpiece of every meal, not just an afterthought you tack on at the end. And it means prioritizing nutrient-dense animal proteins over plant proteins because animal proteins give you more nutritional bang for your buck. And if you're already taking Ozempic or another GLP-1 medication, this focus on protein becomes even more important. These medications work by making you feel full faster, which often leads to eating less overall. But if you're not careful about what you're eating, you might not be getting enough protein, which can lead to muscle loss instead of fat loss. So even if you're on medication, following these guidelines will ensure that your body is healing and that you're losing the right kind of weight. This next one might surprise you, but step 4 is to add some electrolytes to your routine to help with the sugar detox. And this might seem like a minor thing, but it's actually really important, especially when you first start cutting out sugar and refined carbohydrates. But most people don't know about it, which ends up making their withdrawal symptoms way worse than they need to be. If you have been eating a lot of sugar or processed carbohydrates up until now, your body is physiologically addicted to them, and it is going to resist you cutting off that dopamine hit, the exact same way it would if you were a drug addict and you decided to go cold turkey. But adding electrolytes can help alleviate some of the symptoms, especially the dehydration and headaches that happen when you first cut out sugar. And you've probably heard about electrolytes in sports drink commercials, but I promise electrolytes aren't just for athletes. Electrolytes like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium are essential minerals that help balance the amount of water in your body. They move nutrients into your cells and flush waste out. They also ensure your muscles, nerves, heart, and brain work the way they're supposed to. When you cut out sugar and refined carbs, your body sheds water weight, and with it, you lose electrolytes. This can lead to feeling incredibly drained, experiencing muscle cramps, or even feeling dizzy. Basically, the not so fun side of becoming a healthier you. By replenishing electrolytes, you're not only preventing these unpleasant symptoms, but also supporting your body's adjustment to burning fat for energy. And obviously, I don't want you drinking a bunch of sugary Gatorade, but don't worry, you don't have to. You can get electrolytes from sources like bone broth, leafy greens, nuts and seeds, and even adding a pinch of sea salt to your meals. You can also buy sugar-free electrolyte drops from Amazon to add to your water, or use a sugar-free electrolyte powder like LMNT. Remember, getting healthy is a process, so be patient with yourself during your detox. And remember, you are making sustainable lifestyle changes that will support your health and well-being for years to come. It might be a little rough for a few days, but keep going, trust the process, and don't forget that these small changes add up. The 5th step is also not super fun, but I promise it's not forever, so hear me out. I want you to avoid alcohol as much as possible, and completely if you can, for at least the first 6 weeks. Whoa, wow, wow, wow. I know, right? Where's the fun in that? And trust me, I love my wine as much as the next girl. And I promise, once you've actually reset your metabolism and moved into phase 2, you can go back to enjoying your evening glass of wine. In fact, we even encourage it. But in this first phase, when you're really working to retrain your body and reset your metabolism, alcohol is going to make the process a lot harder. And the biggest reason for that is that according to the oxidative priority of food, alcohol will always be the first thing that your body processes ahead of everything else because it can't actually store alcohol as energy. That means that the minute you take a sip, everything else stops and your body has to focus all of its energy on metabolizing the alcohol. And then, of course, there's the fact that most drinks contain sugar and carbohydrates. And it also lowers your inhibitions and sometimes causes you to make not so good choices when it comes to food. So, for 6 weeks, if you're really serious about resetting your metabolism, healing your body, and reaching your weight loss goals, then just take a break. I promise it's worth it. Trust me, once you start seeing and feeling the positive changes in your body, you won't even miss that glass of wine or beer, and your body will thank you for it. Last but definitely not least, the final step is to actually track your macros. Honestly, I can't emphasize enough just how important it is to actually keep track of the food that you're eating, to not just guess and think you're doing okay on cutting out sugar and getting enough fat and protein, but that you actually know. It's so key because the reality is that we don't tend to estimate what we're eating very well. It's important to understand that this is not the same as counting calories. I actually don't care how many calories you eat. Really, you can eat as much delicious food as you want, pretty much without limit. You can't overeat on this plan, but you can eat too much of the wrong things. And understand that this is a huge paradigm shift from what most of us have been told our whole lives about losing weight. We've always been told to eat less and exercise more and to count our calories. This is way different, and it will probably feel weird. But know that the reason you still need to track your food is because you need to get enough fat and enough protein and really keep your sugar and carbohydrates to a minimum. If you're in our TAS program, we provide you with our own custom software and mobile app to keep track of your food. And it makes it really easy because we've already preloaded all of our recipes and meal plans. If you're not in our program, you'll need to find another way to track, but do track. It's the secret to success. And at this point, you might be thinking, hey, what about exercise? How can this be a summer shape up without even talking about exercise? Isn't that important too? And my answer to this is, well, no, not really, at least not yet. So hear me out on this. The reality is that 95% of the results you want to see are directly related to what you are eating, not the level of exercise you're getting. And don't get me wrong, exercise is beneficial for lots of reasons, but it's not a way to lose weight. I hate to break it to you, but you cannot exercise your way thin. So if that has been your strategy until now, there's a reason it's not working. And so that means that at this point in your health journey, if you are not already exercising regularly, do not try to add it in right now. Focus on the food and changing what you eat. That's enough, and you will see results just from that. That said, if you are already in a good groove with regular exercise, you can feel free to continue whatever you're already doing. It won't hurt you. Just don't add it as something new right now. Or if you've been doing the other stuff for a while and you're now wanting to level up, that's the time where you really should start adding in more fat burning exercise. This is something that we talk about a lot in the later part of phase 2 in our program. And we even have an amazing plan for you to follow that includes HIIT training, which stands for high intensity interval training, if you're not familiar, as well as strength training to build your lean muscle mass. And this is important because muscle burns more calories at rest than fat does. So the more muscle you have, the higher your resting metabolic rate will be. This means that even when you're just sitting and not actively exercising, your body will be burning more energy. Plus, as we age, our muscle mass naturally decreases, so incorporating strength training can help combat this by building and preserving muscle mass. Remember, this ultimate summer shape-up plan is not about counting calories or restricting yourself. It's not about endless cardio or feeling hungry all the time. It's simply about being aware of the nutrients you're consuming and making sure they align with your goals. And ultimately, it is about you because you are worth making changes that are based on science and proven to work. I made that summer, the summer of 2021, the summer of me, and it absolutely changed the trajectory of my whole life. By Labor Day, I had lost 25 pounds and I felt better than I had in years. That October, I ran a half marathon, the longest distance I had ever run in my entire life. And by Christmas, I had reached my weight loss goal. Now, I want this summer to be that turning point for you. Make this the summer of you. Make your health a priority. Give yourself the gift of absolutely changing your life because you are so worth it. And right now, you don't even know what is waiting for you on the other side. But I'm telling you, it's amazing. And honestly, that's exactly what we are all about here at Thinlicious. And I'm also telling you right now that there is no better way to experience that fully or to get all the guidance and tools and support you need to actually implement this plan and change your life this year than through joining TAS. It really is incredible, which is why we have a 92% success rate. To learn more and get started on making this the summer of you, be sure to visit thinlicious.com/program. And if you haven't already, don't forget to grab our free guide, Flip the Switch, at thinlicious.com/guide. All right, friends, I think that's it for this episode. If this was helpful for you, please be sure to share it with a friend who might need to hear it too. And don't forget to subscribe or follow so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time, here's to feeling better and living free.